Why is it not tight? Oh, no.
Mommy.
Hi, I am.
Here you go. Here you go, Mommy. Hope you like it.
Put it here. I'll take it from there.
But it's yours.
Yeah, I know.
Mommy, I'm putting it there so you can see what is it.
Okay, thank you.
Mom?
Come on. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. What is wrong with this? Hi, everyone. Welcome to my live stream today. As you can see with the topic, we are going to be discussing that. And we are going to be a little bit chatty. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome. If you're just joining, just say hi and tell me where you're watching me from. And today we are chilling and talking about crochet hooks, metal and plastics. And of course, they have different sizes. So, and I'm going to be mentioning also which one is best for beginners. So grab your yarn, grab your hook, and let's crochet and chat. Okay, so these are the metal ones and these are the plastic ones. As you can see, the plastic ones, they're sort of like more colorful compared to these ones. So what we are going to do, so tell me in the chat who is a beginner here, who here is a total beginner, and don't be shy. I was also, a beginner once. So hi, I'm from Turkey. Thank you, you're welcome. And okay, so let's do this. So we have our two main crochet hooks, right? With the metal and with the plastic ones. And of course they have different sizes. I've used these ones a lot. As you can see, the numbering there is not really showing, it's like fading. So I suggest to you, if you get these types of hooks, you maybe before you start using them, put like a plastic tap so that when you're crocheting it doesn't rub off. And the other thing that makes it erase like this is because of the way I hold my crochet hooks, right? Because I like to hold it like a knife. I know there are some people who hold their hooks like that, like a pen, but because I hold it like a hook, that's why they rub off. So if you hold your hook like a pen, you are safe because your hand is away from that. I know how to crochet. Oh, okay. So how long have you been crocheting? Luleka. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. So if you crochet like this, holding your hook like a pen, which means you're safe. But if you're like me, who holds the hook like a, knife, like about to have your supple something, then you might need to just, protect the numbering so that you know which size. And yeah, so now that that is out of the way, I'm going to tell you the difference and what you should use between, if you are working on bigger project, what should you use, and when you are working with like certain type of yarn, what you should use. So so when you are using the metal ones, which are these ones, when you're using the metal ones like this, what you need to do is that the metal ones are smooth, like butter, and the yarn just slides right to the metal ones. Plastic ones, they are light, right? Soft, and sometimes they actually grabs more. So let me stitch a few so that you see what I mean. Right, so I'm going to grab this is the yarn I was using, and this is what I was left with. So I'm just going to use that. So I'm going to make a slip knot here, and then I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to use, I've got different sizes here. I've got as you can see, that's a 10mm hook. That is the biggest I have. And I have, okay, yes, it's the other small metal. It's I don't know if you can see that. There, come on, there we go. It's a 2mm hook. That's the smallest. On the metal hooks I have, this is the smallest. And so I'm going to be using I know most people, okay, I'm just going to pick my favorite, okay, the one that I always use. So this is my favorite. It's a 4.4mm hook, and my second best is 4.5. Where are you? This 4.5 and 5. Oops. And 5 right there. So now I'm using a 4mm hook. So what I'm going to do, I already made a slip knot here, and I'm going to insert my hook into the slip knot, tighten it, and then I'm going to show you how easily it is to work with the metal, right? So because it's metal, it's actually slides in nicely with the yarn like that. Very, very easy and smooth. If you're enjoying this live, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. So this is how easy it is to work with the metal. I know when I'm demonstrating to you right now, you can't really see it how easy it is unless you try it yourself. Then you'll feel it how easy it is when you're working with the metal hook versus the plastic ones. So let's grab the plastic ones. But the plastic ones, they have the ones that I have, they have this hook, as you can see. That's how it is, like that. And it's only plastic this side. Let me know which ones you are using right now. Comment plastic or metal. I want to see which one is going to win. So comment in the comments, in the chat there. If you prefer metal, comment metal. If you prefer plastic, comment plastic. So, as I was showing you before earlier, that there are numbers right on the hooks. As you can see, that's a 2.5. This one you can't really see it because I've used it a lot, but it's a 4.5 if I'm not mistaken. Let me just see. This is a 4.5. Yes, it's a 4.5 because I have a 4 here. So you see, that's the reason why I say 4 is my favorite. 4mm hook is the one that I use all the time. On the metal, I use 4.5. On the plastic, it's always 4.5. So you see these numbers, 4.4mm. Here we have, come on, we have 3.5. And this one is 5. I've used it. As you can see, it's about to the number is no longer clear there. And we have the smallest one is that's how small it is. It's a 2.5. Right, so I'm going to tell you why there are numbers on these hooks and what you should use, which one to pick, because I know beginners, they will be confused. Must I pick a 10mm, or must I pick a 5mm, or must I pick a 2.5, or what must I pick? I know I have been there, and I know how stressful it is not to know which hook size to pick. So this is a 5.5, right? And we have a 3. I've used it a lot, as you can see. Okay, that's a 2. Okay, let's just end it then. So, and also on the metal side, we have 4.5, right? We have 7. So you see, there are always numbers on these hooks. So there are always numbers. So we have the small ones, right? We have tiny ones that looks like needles. We have see, these are all tiny ones. This is let's see, this is a 5.2, right? And also on this side we have a 5.2. We have, this is another type. As you can see, this is different. It's also a 5.2. There, hopefully you can see that. It's also a, come on, 5.2. But it's different from this one. But it's the same size. Right? And and we have a 3.5. Let me just focus on these small ones for now. So small hooks, which means the small hooks, if you are working with small hooks, they are going to, your work is going to be very tight. Okay, so let's use this 4.5, right? Let's use this 4.5 and see how the stitches are going to look like. 1, 2, okay, so as you can see, that's how the stitches will look like. The stitches will be very, very tight. Come on, zoom in, there you go. The stitches will be very, very tight because we have used a small hook. Okay, so this small hooks, they are used when you are making crochet projects that needs, with very detailed stitches, and so that's what you use, and they are used for dollies and detailed projects. That's where you use these small hooks. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this, and then I'm going to choose another hook, maybe a bigger hook, maybe a 4. Okay, let me pick from the plastic side, maybe a 4mm hook, or maybe a 5mm hook there, and show you how the stitches will be different. Come on, get in there. One, there. Can you really see what the difference? Can you see the difference there? This is very tight and close together, right? And from here, let me just put a marker so that you will see what I'm really talking about. The reason why they've got numbers, and the reason why we use different hooks for different projects. I love crochet. Oh, I'm glad you do. Please, if you're enjoying this live, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. It will really help me. Give it a like, subscribe, let's chat. If you are working on a project, what project are you working on, and what colors are you using, what hook size are you using, stuff like that. I'm struggling with this. Anyway, I like to keep my stitches like this, my stitch markers, because that way I don't lose them, because these are the stuff that you always lose all the time. Forget them on a project, and then you just ship, get the order to the customer with a stitch marker on. Anyway, now I'm going to mark here so that you will see the difference between the stitches I did with a 5mm and the stitches I did with 2.5. But I'm sure it's very clear. There you go, very, very clear there. Come on, zoom. You see, this is very, very tight. These are very tight here. Compared starting from here, these are very loose and open. Right, so let me just place a marker in here. Let's chat, guys. Tell me where you're watching me from. Stitch place a marker there. Okay, I think I'll need another marker. Let me just use this one. This one's easy. Now I've used 2.5 for this side, 2.5 millimeter. Now I've used 5 millimeter. Now on the let's see, separate that, put that aside. Yes. Okay, hold on. Now, is Daddy not there? Call Daddy, Alicia, please. Now I have a 7 millimeter hook here. So I'm going to show you the difference and why we use this, why they are numbers. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now you see already it's becoming loose and open as we use the bigger ones. Right. So from 7 we used this. Right. From 7 it was yeah. Right. And then now I'm going to use a 10. I do not have I don't have a bigger size on the plastic ones. I only have a size 5.1 on the plastic ones, but I have a 10 millimeter on the metal ones. So I'm going to use a millimeter, 10 millimeter, a millimeter, 10 millimeter, and then I'm going to continue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just going to continue. The stitches are going to be loose and loose as we use bigger and bigger hooks. Okay, so let's just see. Can you stop doing that, Alicia, please? Where is Daddy?
I don't know, Mommy. Daddy left.
To where?
To Casey with
No.
Mom.
No. So this is how it is, guys. That's the reason why we use different hooks for different projects. As you can see, this is very tight and closed. As that was a 2.5. Now we used a 5 millimeter hook. It was getting a little bit loose, but still closed up. And then we used, what did we use? A 7 millimeter. It was getting, more open. And then we used, oh my goodness, we used the 10 millimeter, and as you can see, it's very open. Right.
Baby, 3 babies.
Subscribe, guys, if you haven't subscribed. Give this live a thumbs up. Comment where you're watching me from. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And tell me what project you are dreaming of making, maybe a bralette, a blanket, a baby beanie. Comment and I will tell you the hook size you will need. And also when it comes to hook sizes, it's very easy if you're a beginner to know which hook size you must go for, because most of the time when you buy your yarn or threads, they do have a section on the label where they indicate which size you should use. And yeah, they say if you're using knitting needles, they will tell you use this size. And if you are crocheting, they'll tell you which hook size you should pick. So it's very, very easy. If you're a beginner, you don't need to stress your head, thinking which hook size you should pick. Just look at the label of the yarn you bought, and then you will know which hook size you pick. Simple as that. So so I know most beginners torture themselves with tiny hooks like this ones here, right? Like a 2 millimeter or 2.5, and that's not okay if you're a beginner. Start with a 4 millimeter and 5 millimeter. If you don't have money to buy, like, a whole lot different sizes, you just go for a 4 millimeter and a 5 millimeter and save yourself. And also tell me what frustrations you get when you're crocheting. Comment in the comments. And is it losing your stitches or stitch counts, your chain twisting? Because that's the most frustrating thing, especially when you do your stitches and then you join them. Let's say you're working on a cardigan or a hat. No, a hat starts with a ring, but and then you realize that your twist is your chain just twisted. That will be very, very bad, especially when you're just on row 5 or row 6, then you have to unravel. Okay, so let's chat. Drop your questions. I'm here. What do you want help with? Okay, what would you want help with? And let's comment, guys. Let's comment. Okay, guys. Hi, Miracle. How are you doing? Guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and give this live thumbs up. Did I just say so? Yeah, I said it. So give it a thumbs up, guys. So now I'm going to tell you the reason why there are sizes on these hooks. It's very important you know that what size, why there are different sizes on the hooks. Okay. So first question, the first question, why do hook size matter? That's the first question. Why do hook size matter? As you can see, when I was crocheting, showing you doing my chains here, you see the last part I did with a 10 millimeter hook. As you can see, you can't really tell what this is. If it looks like somebody was learning how to crochet, it's because of this type of yarn. Okay, it's not meant for a 10 millimeter. That is why it was going like this. Because you're not supposed to use a 10 millimeter on this type of yarn. Okay, and it worked nicely on the 2.5 we did, right? It worked nicely, but it's really, really tight. You can't go back into the stitch because when you do, then you struggle a lot because they are very tight. And we go to 5.5. This is perfect, but a little bit loose. So which means this is the type of hook they recommend you use when you're working with this type of yarn. This is acrylic yarn and it's a double knit. Okay, so that's the reason why I must tell you why there are hook sizes. Well, think hooks like spoons, right? A small spoon picks up less food, right? And also a big spoon scoops a lot. Think like that. Think it that way. Okay, so hooks are the same. They are the same. A small hooks make tiny stitches, like you just I just demonstrated there. They make tiny stitches. These small hooks, right? Like this. They make really tiny stitches because it's a small spoon. So it scoops a little bit, right? And a big spoon like this one, a big hook, it's just it scoops a lot, right? So like I said, hooks are the same. Small hooks makes tiny stitches and bigger hooks makes bigger ones, right? Now what are the hook sizes actually? What are hook sizes actually for? That's another question that I always get asked, like what are hook sizes? Oh, what are hook sizes actually for? So we have hook sizes usually matches the yarn you are using. Like what I said earlier, that the reason why I was getting this kind of stitches when I was using a 10 millimeter, because a 10 millimeter does not match with this type of yarn. That is why I was getting that kind of stitches, right? And so if you pick a thin yarn, like less yarn, like those yarn for the one you use to make less and open projects, then you can you can use a small hook. I hope I'm clear. So let me just repeat myself. Hook sizes usually matches the yarn you are using, right? Like, so if you pick a thin yarn, you should also pick a small hook. It's just simple. Thin yarn, small hook. You know, like 2 millimeter, like 3 millimeter. That will give you neat, small, tight stitches. Like I just demonstrated when we use this tiny tiny hook, it gave us very small and tight stitches. So if you, yeah, so the other thing is that if you use this tiny hook on a thicker yarn, it won't even fit. It won't even fit. You struggle with it because it's a small spoon trying to scoop a lot of whatever, lots of whatever you're working with. That won't work. Okay, so then what happens when you use a big hook? Okay, what happens when you use a big hook? So big hooks create large open stitches like you did. I'm always going back here because we started with this, right? As you can see, we used a 10 millimeter here, right? We used a 10 millimeter. See how open these stitches are? Very, very open, right? Because we used a bigger hook. It was big compared to this, right? So we used a bigger hook. That's why we have open stitches. They will make your work go much faster. For example, if you're working on a blanket using a 10 millimeter hook, it can actually take a day or two or even less. But if you are using a 3 millimeter hook, which is this one here, a tiny one, obviously it will take you a whole month or even more to complete whatever you're working on. So let me give you examples. If you are making a bralette, you want it neat, firm, and shaped. So I use a 4 millimeter hook. Where's the 4? My favorite one, like I said, a 4 millimeter hook right there. That's what you use when you're working with bralettes, because it will give you a neat, tight, firm shaped bralette. So use this when you're working with a bralette. When you're working on a bralette, you must use this. And then if you are working on maybe hats, you should also use 4.5. This is a 4.5 4.5 to 5 millimeter hook. It will work for a hat, because if you wanted to hold the structure, so using 4.5, 4 to 4.5, no, 4 to 5 millimeter hook between the range, your bucket had to hold the structure, so that it's okay. Now when you're working on amigurumi, I want no holes so the stuffing does not show. I'm sure no one wants that, because working on an amigurumi, you must make sure that your stitches are tight so that when you add the stuffings, it won't be loose. So what should you go for? What do you think, guys, you should go for when you're working with amigurumi? What hooks must you use? Comment and let me know. Okay, comment and let me know, guys. Let's chat. My question is, if you are using an amigurumi, you're working on an amigurumi, let's say you're doing a dog, right? What hook should you use so that the stuffings does not show? Comment in the chat, guys. Let me just... Okay. Comment in the comments what hook size you should use. Come on, guys, I'm waiting. What hook size must you use when you're working with when you're working on an amigurumi? Now, so answer that, guys. I'm going to proceed with what I have for you here. So let's say you are um doing a blanket. So what I want when I'm doing a blanket is I want it to be comfortable, soft, and also speed, right? So what I normally use, I go for bigger hooks, and which means that it does not take me time to complete it, right? Because I'm using bigger hooks, like from 6 millimeter and upwards. Right now I've got my beach cover up dresses. So those ones, they're for summer, they are beach cover ups, so they should be, I want airflow. And so I use medium to big hook, like 5 millimeter to 8 millimeter, depending on the yarn. So basically, the hook sizes affect one, the tightness of your project, the time it takes, the final size of the item, and even the look. It can be closed, it can be airy. So it's very important you choose the hook size according to what's on the label of your yarn, right? If you're a beginner, like I said, just look at the yarn you purchased, and they always have a section where it's indicated that which hook or uh, or what is it, or why am I forgetting, or the knitting needles to use, right? It's always indicated there. So it's very, very important, because when you follow a pattern, let's say the pattern says a 5 millimeter hook, and you have a different type of yarn, and on your yarn it says a 6 millimeter hook. So you've got a yarn that is a ball of yarn that is telling you that you should use a 5 millimeter hook, and you've got your pattern that is saying use a 7 millimeter hook. It will not work, because if you use a 5 millimeter hook, like what your yarn is saying, then the project will come out different from the size indicated on the pattern. I hope I'm making sense. So basically, the hook size affects, like I said, the tightness of your project, the time it takes. Like I said, when you're using a bigger hook, which means it will take you less time to complete your project, compared when you're using a small hook, it will take more time to finish your project, because it's a small hook, it's taking a little bit. But when it's a big hook, which means it's taking a lot, so it will finish quickly. So the other thing that the hook size will affect is that the final size of the item. Okay, obviously small hook, it will end up small, bigger hook, it will end up bigger. That's it, as simple as that. And it will even affect the way it looks, like what I was doing here when we started this live stream. I started doing these stitches, and from the beginning to where the stitch marker is, we used a 2.5. As you can see, it's very tight, and very small stitches, because it's a small hook. We used a 2.5, and then from the stitch marker to the other pink stitch marker there, we used a 5.5 millimeter. And as you can see, it's a bit loose, but it's not that airy. But from this marker up to the point where the we have the loop there, the stitches are very, very loose, because it was a 10 millimeter. I can't really see what's happening here, because it's very airy and very loose, because we used a bigger hook. So you see the different size, different size hook, different results. That's how it is. That is how important it is to always pick the right hook size. Okay, and the other thing is hook sizes are written differently in different countries, right? Different sizes are written differently in countries, right? Some you see a G and an H, or numbers like what I have here. We've got numbers. But don't worry, if you look at your yarn label, it usually tells you which hook matches, right? Like what I've been saying here. For example, if it says a 4mm hook recommended, then that is the easiest starting point. 4mm. You see why this 4mm is my favorite hook compared to all other hooks. Guys, if you're enjoying this live, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and let's chat. Where are you watching me from? What project you're working on? If you love crochet, just comment I love crochet. And guys, don't forget the question I asked. If you're working on an amigurumi, and you want your amigurumi to have no holes, because remember, if an amigurumi has holes, then the stuffing will show. So what hook size should you go for? Comment if you know the answer. Now, where was I? Okay, so I was saying that this 4mm is my favorite because that is the easiest starting point if you're a beginner, right? This is where I started, right? I started using 4mm and then I upgraded to these bigger ones. Okay. So which hook size do you own right now? Tell me in the chat. Is it a 4mm or is it a 5mm? Okay, and has anyone ever used a hook that was too big and maybe ended up with holes in their project? Let me know in the comments. Drop an emoji if you want me to demonstrate the difference with yarn on camera, and you know, maybe working on a project using different hook sizes just for fun. Comment and let me know. Okay, subscribe to this channel, to my channel if you haven't. Give this live a thumbs up, and let's chat, guys. Let's chat. Excuse me. So let's chat, guys. Let's chat. My question is here. If you're working on an amigurumi and you don't want holes on your project you're working on, which is the amigurumi, obviously if you're working on an amigurumi and it has holes, the stuffing will show. So what crochet hooks would you pick? What crochet hook would you pick? Let's say you want to work on an amigurumi. And guys, watch out for my new tutorial that is coming up soon. I'll be showing you how I crochet a granny square. It's very, very nice, and it's my new pattern. So watch out for that. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss my upcoming videos and live. Okay. What did you sleep?
She was. I was in a lounge all the time. Sorry, that's not even here. She
Mm.
was sleeping. Don't sleep. What's gonna get you if it's early? Nobody sleeps in the afternoon. It's still daytime. You should sit up with me.
Okay, no answer, guys. No answer. But anyway, I'll leave it. So let's continue. Like I said, if you're just joining in, welcome to my live stream. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Even liked it, please give it a thumbs up. It will help me a lot. And I have plastic hooks here, and I have metal hooks. And hooks actually feels different depending on the handle. As you can see, this is a metal handle, the plastic handle, right? And this is the plastic handle, and these are metal hooks, right? So some have got soft grips like this one. It's very, very soft and nice to work with if you're a beginner. And as you can see, some are full metal. If your hands get tired, I suggest you try a rubber handle like this one. If you're a beginner and your hands get tired using the metal, I suggest you get the 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 rubber ones. Okay, it makes a big difference. If you're crocheting at your wrist, sometimes it's not you, it's the hook. Try a different shape and see what uh your body likes. Metal hooks, they glide smoothly, so you work faster. That's why a lot of experienced crocheters love them. I also love the metal hooks. I always find myself grabbing the metal hooks compared to the I only was happy when I was like keen to use the plastic ones when I just bought them and I wanted to experience different one. What is the difference between thick and thin crochet? Thick and thin crochet. I don't thin and thick crochet. What do you mean thin and thick crochet? May thin and thick crochet. I do not get your question. Do you mean thin and thick yarn? Do you mean thin and thick yarn? Do you mean thin and thick yarn? Uh, oh, you mean thin and thick crochet hooks? Is that it? Oh, yes, the hooks. Okay. I have this thick hooks, right? And I have thin, I have thin hooks here. Now, the difference is that these ones, as you can see when we were okay, as you can see now, let me just put the thin here and so that it's clear when I'm explaining. And then we have that. Okay, so the thin hooks, we've got thin hooks like this ones, like the 2.5, 3.5, 2 millimeter hooks. Those are on the thin side. Okay, let me just show you. Right, thin, that's a 2.5. This one is very, very thin, is the smallest, that's a 2 millimeter, and this one is a 3 millimeter, and this one is a 4 millimeter. Now we've got the thick ones. Let me just put them together like so. We've got 8, 9, and 10. Right, we've got 8, 9, and 10. These are thick, as you can see. So the difference is that thin hooks right here, they make tight stitches. Like what? Let me just demonstrate it to you. Like right now I picked the 2.5, 3.5. I'm just going to make a knot. I'm just going to show you what I mean when I say they make tight stitches. Okay. They are they make tight stitches, and they are used for delicate work like amigurumi, lace, clothes, or lace, whatever project you're working on. And they are used for baby clothes, they are used for bralettes, because the hook is small and the stitches are, they sit close together. They don't have gaps, right? That is what is used for these hooks, the thin hooks. Okay, so like I said, they they um they make tight stitches, and they're used for different projects like amigurumis. Because remember, when you're doing an amigurumi, you want your stitches to be tied together so that when you add your stuffings, they won't show. So amigurumis, you use these small needles, hooks, I mean, to make amigurumis, because the stitches are very tight. Okay, and now we are going to look at thicker hooks. So how is this different? These are the thin hooks and thicker hooks. The difference is that when you're using the thicker hooks, they create big and loose stitches. Okay, these are like perfect for like when you're working on a blanket or scarf or a chunky cardigan, anything soft and cozy. And you know what? They can also make your project go faster because every stitch covers more space because they are big, right? So that is the difference between the thin hooks and the thick hooks. I hope I made it clear. Like I said, just know that when you're picking the thin hooks, you want your stitches to be tight and not airy. But if you want your stitches to be airy and loose, then you should pick the thick ones. I hope I explained better. I hope it's clear. If it's clear, just say it's clear and we move forward. So if you crochet a square with a thin hook, the fabric will feel firm and hold shape, you know. But if you use a thicker hook, these ones here, the fabric will feel soft and stretchy, you know, like big comfy winter blanket, you know. So that's it. Okay, I got the point. Yeah. So guys, if you're enjoying this live, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, like this live, tap on the screen if you're enjoying it, and yeah. So if you have any questions, guys, feel free to ask. I'll be so glad to answer them. And let's chat. If you're working on a project, what hook are you using, or what's your favorite hook? What whether do you prefer the metal hook or the plastic hook? Which one would you say you prefer? So guys, when you're choosing the hooks, right, if you're a beginner and you're choosing, I have one more question, that how to make more different design. I only made one design and no more. I have one more question, that how to make more different designs. When you say designs, what do you mean? Do you mean stitches? Do you mean patterns? Because if it's stitches, then you can, we have different stitches, like we've got a whole lot of stitches, but they are just basic stitches like single crochet, double crochet, slip stitch, what triple crochet. Those are like basic stitches. So what do you mean different patterns like popcorn or leaves? Okay, so um um okay, so what is your question? Do you struggle with the popcorn stitch? I haven't done the leaf stitch, my first time hearing about it, but I only know how to do the popcorn stitch. If you want me to demonstrate it, I can demonstrate it for you. different patterns. Like I have one more. Okay, let me just show you how to do the popcorn stitch. Okay, let me just do the popcorn. Like I say, the leaf stitch, I've not heard of that. This is the first time I've heard of so many stitches, but not the leaf stitch. But I will look into it now. Let me show you how to do the popcorn. So as you all know, I'm just going to use that's my favorite. I'm going to use the 4 millimeter hook, and then I'm going to start with a slip knot. Okay. Now we are going to make a foundation row of double crochets or whatever stitches your pattern uses, right? So I'm going to start with the chain 3, 1, 2, 3, or maybe more for the sake of demonstration. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What? Okay. Okay, now we are going to, you just give me a minute. Okay, so we made 10 stitches here. So we are going to add 2 more, 1 and 2, and this is enough to practice without being, overwhelming. So what you're going to do now is you're going to skip 3 chains from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, right into the 4th stitch. We are going to make a double crochet. So these chains we just skipped counts as our first double crochet. So into the 4th chain we are going to insert our hook, and then we're going to make a double crochet. Right, and then into the next again we're going to make another double crochet. Like this live, guys, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I'll really appreciate that. let's chat. I'm making a puff stitch, a popcorn stitch, sorry. So I'm going to make 1 double crochet into each stitch till the end. Okay, so I'm going to carry on. Okay, now I am done with the first round. Now we are going to add our popcorn stitch. After this, when you reach the stitch marker where you want the popcorn to be, we are going to make 5 double crochet into the first stitch. So what we're going to do here, we are going to chain 1 and turn our work, right? And then I'm going to place a 1 single crochet in there, no, a 1 double crochet. Let's just say 1 double crochet in there, or rather if you want you can just instead of chaining 1 here, you can just chain 2, 1, oops, 1, 2 and 3. Then we're going to turn our work, right? And then what we are going to do is we are going to work 5 double crochet into the same stitch, right? So I'm going to, this counts as our first double crochet, so we are going to come here and into the following stitch here, and then we're going to make 5 double crochets in there. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, now we are done with our 5 double crochets. Now what you're going to do from here, we are going to drop the last loop and insert it, and then we're going to insert the hook into the first double crochet we did, right? One, two, three, four, five. So this is the first one here, and then like that. Come on, like this. So this is the first double crochet we did, and this is the last, right? And then what you're going to do, we are just going to pull through like that, right? And then we are just going to repeat. As you can see, it looks like a popcorn. So what I like to do here, I just like to chain 1 and then into the next one I can just make a double crochet here, right? And then so I'm going to make 5 double crochet into that stitch, five double crochet. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? Then come on, what happened now? Okay, then I'll let go of the loop. Then I come back to the first double crochet we did, which is this one here, and then I connect with that back into the loop, and then I pull, and then that's another second. See, that's how easily you can do a puff stitch, a popcorn. Why do I always say puff stitch? Popcorn stitch. Okay, so I'm going to show you another trick. So I'm just going to chain one here. I'm going to show you another trick, because as you can see, the popcorn is too close to each other. You can't really see here. So if you want, you can just do 2 double crochets here, one into each stitch, one and two, right? And then into the following stitch after that, that's where you do your puff stitch. It's easy, especially if you're a beginner, for you to identify which ones you did, which one is your first double crochet of the 5 double crochet. So if you're a beginner, I suggest, for you not to be confused, I suggest you grab your stitch marker and mark the first double crochet, so that you don't forget which one is your first double crochet, because I know it can be tricky when it comes to that. So just grab your marker and mark that first stitch of the 5 double crochets. Okay, so now we are going to carry on with another 4 double crochets into that same stitch. So I've got 2 now, 3, 4, right? Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the last one is going to be 5, and then I'm going to release my hook, and then into that stitch, I know this one is my very first stitch of those 5, then I'm going to insert it, right? It all depends where you want your puff stitch to be, because if you want the back part, you can just insert it from front to back, right? Like that, like that. Insert it, come on, like that, pull, and then the puff will be in the facing you, right? But if you want your puff to be away from you, right, let's remove this. If you want your puff to be away from you, you can just insert your hook in there, and like that, from the back to front, if you want your puff to be away from you, and then you just pull, and then the puff is at the back there, away from you. Okay, so, and then you chain one. I like to chain one, and then we carry on with our puff stitch. Come on. Now I did 2 double crochets. So the puff stitch doesn't matter where you place it. You can place it wherever you want. You can make one puff stitch facing you, the other part, I'm saying puff stitch, I'm sorry, I mean popcorn stitch. You can do the popcorn stitch facing you or facing away from you, whatever you want, it's up to you. You can do one puff stitch in the corner and the other one in the 24th round. It's all up to you. Okay, so now I'm going to place my puff stitch here, right? 1, 2. If you're a beginner, mark that first stitch of the 5 double crochets so that you remember which one is your first double crochet of those 5 double crochets. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let go and then check which one is my 5th, and this one is my 5th, right? So I want my puff stitch to be away from me, so I'm going to go from back to front and then pull, and then they're away from me. Okay, and then I'm going to chain 1 and carry on. Okay, and then I'm going to carry on into that last stitch like that, right? So now if you want your puff stitch to be on one side, and on the other side you just want a smooth work, and then the pop should be, I keep on saying puffs, please forgive me for that, I mean popcorn. If you want the popcorn to be on the other side and the smooth to be on the other side, you can just chain 3 here, right? And then you can just keep can you please start a full course for beginners? Your way of teaching is so good. Like and subscribe from my side. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that comment. Thank you so much. And so I'm going to start the course for beginners. I also have it. I have like something like that on my channel, but like different stitches, you should go look it up. But they are in a short version. It's not like long YouTube videos. It's a short YouTube videos. So if you go on my YouTube short videos, you're going to see it. It's a even the popcorn stitch you were mentioning, I also have a pattern on it, and more stitch, and I've got quite a few of excuse me, I've got quite a few of these stitches. Okay, some I can't even remember because yeah, I did them a long time ago, but I'll consider what you suggested. Anyway, so we're going to carry on, and this is going to be our first double crochet, and we are going to carry on into the, so like I said, if you want your popcorn to be on one side and on the other side to be like with no popcorn, you can just carry on. So now I want my popcorn to be, you can put like one popcorn on top of the other, or you can just, make them side by side. Like for this round, you see there's a popcorn here and another one. I want the other one to be in the middle, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to make a double crochet here, right? And another double crochet there. And did I just keep, okay, let me just go back. It's fine to unravel. Okay, so we are going to continue make a double crochet there and another double crochet here, and then you check where would you want your puffs to be, your popcorn to be. For me, maybe there or maybe here, because I don't want it to be on top of the other popcorn. So I'm just going to make the one double crochet. If you're a beginner, once you start making your popcorn, remember to place your stitch marker. That way you will not get it wrong. Remember to place your stitch marker into the first double crochet of the 5 double crochet that you're going to make a popcorn with. Okay, place it like that, and then you carry on. We just made 1, now we carry on 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then you are going to check if you have made 5 double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one is the 5, is the 5th. Now you're going to remove that, and then ask yourself, do you want your puff to be away from you or close to you? Then if it's away, if it's close to you, then from back to front, and then you put back your hook, and then you slip through. Now, because I want my puff to be in front, now we're going to insert our hook from front to back. So if you want your popcorn to be in the front, you go through the front. If you want it to be at the back, you go through the back. So you insert, and then you pull through there, right in the front. Now you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to carry on. Okay, now I want my puff to be here. So 1, 2, 3. Like I said, you can place your popcorn. I keep on saying puff. Your popcorn, you can, like I said, you can place it anywhere you want. Doesn't really matter. Anywhere you feel like, you can place it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then remove my stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the, so do I want my puff to be in the front? Yes. So I go from front to back, so that the popcorn is in the front. Okay, chain 1, and then we carry on. Two, 3, 4. Come on, 4 and 5. Okay, now remove my stitch marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and from front to back, and then puff stitch, chain 1, and I'm going to end with 2 double crochets at the end here. 1 and 2. I'm running out of yarn. Yeah. Okay, so that's how it's going to be, like that. As you can see, the puff are nice. I don't know if you can see it nicely. You've got your puff, your popcorn. Oh my word, your popcorn. So you've got your popcorn there, nice. And
What is popcorn?
so that's it, guys. That's how you do your popcorn stitch. But I'm going to be starting a beginner friendly course so that my beginners know these patterns. But if you want to check out, I've got my older, thank you, and I'm going to check out my if you want to see my other tutorials on how to do some of the stitches, I have them on my channel. Please go look them up. 965734. Okay, so I've got quite a few. I have like I said, I have more stitch pattern. I have let me just see, view the channel. Yes, I've got different patterns, like the moss stitch, the, let me see, the lemon stitch peel, and it's lemon peel stitch, yes. And the oh, I mentioned the moss already, the lemon peel stitch, the crunchy stitch, the herringbone half double crochet. That one is very easy. And I've got the, okay, I've got another herringbone again, half double crochet, because the first I have herringbone half double crochet, no, herringbone only. And then I've got the herringbone half double crochet with a twist, like where you have to go what is it called, like a waffle stitch. No, it's a waffle stitch. It's not in herringbone, it's a waffle stitch. And I've got the shell stitch, I've got the V stitch, the cluster stitch, the puff stitch I keep on mentioning instead of saying popcorn stitch. And also the bubble stitch, the bubble stitch. And I've got also the popcorn stitch. I also have the popcorn stitch, so you can go look it up. Probably I did it different there because it's been I did this video a long time ago and I did it differently, so it might be, different from the way I just showed you, but it's very easy. And also the other stitch I did on, tutorial on, is a spider stitch, and also the less stitch, and wheel spin stitch. And I did trinity stitch. I did a whole lot of stitches, like a whole lot of stitches. And also, no, just go look it up and then you see what I mean. So in the next tutorial, make feeder covers or feeder covers. Okay, thank you so much for your suggestion. I have noted it. And in which country do you belong? I'm in South Africa. And where are you watching me from? Where are you watching me from? Where are you watching me from? Please, guys, give this live a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. And let's chat, guys. If you have any questions, any suggestions, what if you want to add on, please do so. Don't hesitate. Pakistan, okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So have you been crocheting? And are you just starting to crochet? I just started. Okay. So what are the stuff that you find difficult with, like, I don't know, is there anything that you find difficult when it comes to crocheting so far? Chandelier said, since I just started, I am struggling to make different things, and every time I want out all my designs out of frustration. Yeah, I know. I understand how it is. I understand how it is. But so do you know all the basic stitches? Because trust me, if you're a beginner and you all know the basic stitches, like your, your double crochets, um single crochets, slip stitches, all the basic crochet. Like your do you know your double crochets, like all the basic stitches, do you know them? And let me see. No, I don't know all the basics. I just make chains and round the chains with double crochets. Okay, double crochet is one of them because we have got a slip knot, right? So I'm just going to I'm just going to tell you all the basic stitches. So let me not use that. Okay, so the basic stitches, the first one is a slip knot. I'm sure you know a slip knot, right? Because obviously after your project you need to make a slip knot to join everything. Should I just skip that one? Because you know, if you know the slip knot, then obviously, because it's the first step to start any project. Yes, yeah. So the obviously chains, you said you know how to do your chains, and single crochets. Do you know how to do your single crochets? Because it's very easy to do your single crochets. It's part of the basic stitches. Okay, so you know your slip knot, you know your chains, obviously, because you said you no, I don't know single crochet. Okay, so let's do the single crochet together. So let's say you have, I don't know if you are working, if you have your hook and your yarn with you, but I'm just going to show you. I'm going to save this live. If you, I mean live stream, if you want to go back and okay, just hold on. Your dad is calling. Alicia, call daddy. Where is daddy? Dad, daddy. You must answer his call, please. Can you answer his call? Tell him to answer. Can you answer on the tablet, please? Because
I didn't get anything on.
why? Can you call him then?
Is it a normal call or what?
Yeah, it's a normal call. Can you make it snappy, please? Because I want to use it. Okay, I have hold my hook and my yarn and looking forward towards you. Okay, just give me a minute. Let me just fix something here. I'm waiting for it, please.
That's a voice message.
What is the voice mail?
I don't want an accidental call because I had just muffled sound. You know, I haven't done the regular things on time. And
Okay. Sorry for that. Now, we have our hook and our yarn, and probably you will need a stitch marker. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to have the same stitch marker or buy. just get yourself a pin or a hairpin, or let's say you're working with this orange color, you get yourself another color, just to indicate that's where your first stitch started. Okay, now we're going to make a slip knot. Okay, I believe you know how to make a slip knot. Let me just start again. There. Now we are going to chain, let's just say 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Are you done? What's your chandelier, right? Chandelier. Are you done? Are you done with the chains so that we move forward? If I'm too fast, you can just yes, I'm doing. Okay. If I'm too fast, or you can just you know, you don't need to worry. I can just save this live, and then you can go and watch it again. Okay. Tell me when you're done. I'll be waiting patiently for you. Okay. Okay. I believe you're done now. Now, what we're going to do is, let me just bring it closer. Come on, Zoom. Now we have our first chain there, right? And we have got our second chain. So what we're going to do, we are going to skip this first chain here, right there. We're going to skip it, and into the second chain, we are going to insert our hook, right? Right, like there, right there. Insert our hook. Hopefully we are following and it's clear for you to see. And we are going to yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we have 2 loops on our hook, right? 1, 2, and we are going to yarn over and pull through all 2. That's a single crochet. So easy, right? Now we are going to start again. I'm going to show you again. Insert into the next stitch like so, yarn over, pull up a loop, and we have 2 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 2. Again, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we have got 2 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 2, like that. Again, insert, yarn over, pull through 2, no, pull through, and then we have got to pull 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through O2. Oops, I forgot. We forgot to use our stitch marker. Okay, so because we forgot to use our stitch marker, I'm going to unravel this again so that I'll show you where to place the stitch marker. Okay, now we skip the first stitch, which is this one, into the following stitch there. We are going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through, and then we've got 2 loops on our hook, pull through all 2 loops. Right, now we are going to insert our stitch marker right in there. Come on, right in there, in the first stitch, so that we know that's our first stitch and we won't be confused. Now we are going to carry on, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through O2, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through O2. Right, now we carry on, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we have got 2 loops, yarn over and pull through O2. Yeah, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through O2. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through O2. That's a single crochet. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through O2. Insert, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we've got 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through O2. That's how you do single crochets. Right, now when you're here, okay, now when we're here, we are going to chain 1 and then we're going to turn our work. Now into the very first stitch there, we are going to do our single crochet, and then if you want again, you mark that stitch. If you are not so sure that you remember that there's a stitch, mark the stitch. It's very important if you're a beginner, so that your edges will be straight and won't be, will be very straight. Use stitch markers, and then you carry on into each stitch, pull through O2, insert into the both loops there, right, yarn over, 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through O2. Again, insert like that. If I'm too fast, you can just put it on slow it down. Insert, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through O2. Insert, pull up a loop, 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through O2. Now we do that again. Now this is the last stitch. We are very sure. Now we are very sure that this is our last stitch. Why? because we placed our stitch marker there. So we remove it and then we insert into that stitch, pull up a loop, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through all 2. Right, that's how you do a single crochet. So if I was too fast for you, just slow down, and that's it, guys. And that's it. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Give this thumbs live a like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, I'll really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So that's how you do single crochet. Was it easy? Did it look easy to you? I practice it again and again, then let you know. That I will be very, very excited. I can't wait for you to tell me that I can do it now. I'll be very, very happy. Yeah, like they say, if you keep on practicing, then it becomes easy. Trust me, when I started, I was only doing double crochets as well. But double crochet is a bit complicated than this single crochet. Single crochet is very easy compared to a double crochet. It's a slightly, challenging, but you already know the double crochet, so single crochet will be very, very easy for you.
I'm gonna put
And I can't wait to hear from you telling me that you know how to do a single crochets again.
Mommy, I don't know how to put it in here, but I'm going to put it in there. Because I'm excited for that.
So guys, I've been here for almost 2 hours. You are my mentor now, and tell me when you are again online. No problem, just hit the notification bell and subscribe if you haven't, so that whenever Alicia, you're making noise, please, so that whenever I'm on live, you will not miss my live again. Just subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you'll get a notification when I'm on live. Okay, so guys, I've been here for almost 2 hours now, and I thank you all so much for joining me today. I really appreciate everyone who stayed with me and practiced crochet together. Thank you so much, Chandelier. Thank you so much. And today we learned about different crochet hook, yarn types, and basic stitches like, single crochets. And I hope you all feel more, confident picking up your hooks and starting your first project. Remember, practicing is the key, and don't worry about mistakes. They happen to everyone. Even just 10 to 15 minutes a day will make a huge difference. If you like more tutorials, you can find them on my YouTube channel at Crochet Crafts. And if you like to get some of my creations, I have, or maybe want to check out my Facebook page, the link is on my profile. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. Stay creative, stay crocheting, and I'll see you next time. Bye.